Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this very special video as we rank all of the Defining Moments figures. The only Defining Moments figures that are missing are the Ultimate Warrior special editions. They were really limited, and so I didn't bother including those. But let's get into the list, and let's start with the Ultimate Warrior, the Ultimate Maniacs. To be honest, we've had so many Warriors that it's going to take something pretty special to get quite high up this list. And to be honest, this just feels like it could have gone into the Elite line. Then we've got Sting next. Great American Bash, early 90s. Love Surfer Sting. But again, we had a figure very similar to this in the Elite line. And so it's just not really special enough to be a defining moment. Same with this John Cena. John Cena, I believe this is from like 2004. He is pretty basic. I mean, the face scan looks okay. And I like Word Life John Cena. Not many accessories here, though. So again, I just find myself wanting a little bit more than what this figure provides. Then we've got Shinsuke. This is pretty cool, but again, we've had lots of good Shinskes in the Elite line. This was, I think this was the first. It was either the first or the second Shinsuke figure that we got. I know it was really early in the Shinsuke releases. Good for the time, but we've had plenty of Shinsuke figures. And again, it just doesn't stand out. I just don't think it's enough for a defining moment. Little bit controversial now because we're moving on to a newer one. They've actually released 4 Ringside Collectibles exclusive defining moments. And this is one people are going to love as well. It's Cody Rhodes with that bruise, that torn pectoral muscle. I think it's really cool. It's definitely a defining moment. But again, there's not much to this figure. It's basically an Elite figure. You do get the kind of bull rope that comes with it as well. I do think, though, that that's a very bland facial expression. So for a defining moment, like a swappable head might have been quite nice. Then we've got Bret Hart. This is another of those newer defining moments. They just cannot nail Bret's face. They cannot get the face right. I keep seeing different images of this. Sometimes I look at it and think they've done a really good job with it. And then sometimes I look at it and think it looks nothing like him. Like the Bret Hart face is just one of those faces they really struggle with. I really love the ring gear. I love that jacket. I think they've done a fantastic job with that jacket. And I would say it's not a complete disaster, but it's still not quite right for me. And actually, next is the other Bret Hart. This obviously one of the older figures that we had. This one is for Canadian Stampede, and people really love this figure. Like, it goes for crazy amounts on eBay. For me, again, the face isn't right. I like the jacket still. I think because it's Canadian Stampede, because I know that it goes for a lot of money, because it comes with a championship belt as well, just gets the nod over the newer Bret Hart figure. Then we've got the Ultimate Warrior. So we spoke earlier about the Ultimate Warrior not really having much in the way of accessories. This has got a really great entrance jacket. Again, quite a bland facial expression. Loads of detail on the ring gear. To be honest, the only reason this is as far down the list as it is because they've released a newer version of this in the Ultimate Editions line. This is obviously based on WrestleMania 7, and they've released a new version of this, which is better. So this is now starting to drop down the rankings. Then we've got Chris Jericho. People really like this figure. For me, I just come back to the fact that there's really not much to it. You take those 2 belts away, and there's just not much to it. I mean, the ring gear isn't really anything that special. I don't really think the face scan is all that great. The hair, I don't know. I mean, I just look at it, and there's not really anything I get that excited about. The most exciting thing about this figure is the fact it comes with 2 belts. Then we've got this Undertaker, and this is a weird one because if you actually look at the face, again, certain angles it looks good, and then other angles you can look at it and it doesn't. It looks a bit like Diesel cosplaying, but it is a really iconic figure. Like, this goes for a lot of money as well, and I think the fact that it's got like the wings and the entrance attire based on Survivor Series '96, it's quite a fun figure for the Undertaker. So I respect it a lot. But if I'm ranking it compared to the other defining moments, then it is going to unfortunately find itself kind of a little bit lower down the list. But, we're kind of finding our way towards the middle of the list now, so it's not done too bad in all fairness. Then we've got, again, one of the newer figures. This is Mankind. Now, I talk a lot about accessories and wanting just that little bit extra. This doesn't have really anything other than a swappable head. And so, you know, you could make an argument for this being even lower down the list. The only thing I would say is that I think they nailed the face scan on this. I think they did a great job with the face scan. Certainly that face where the tooth is lodged in his nose, it's kind of come through his face, just like it did in that match, in that Hell in a Cell match that this is obviously based on, in that Hell in a Cell match against The Undertaker. Such an iconic match as well, such an iconic moment. I believe when the network first started, that was the most watched match that people were going to and showing their friends. So, I mean, it is absolutely iconic. Then we've got Stone Cold. I mean, look, Stone Cold's one of the most iconic wrestlers ever. So any Stone Cold is going to be of interest. This one comes with 3 championship belts. You get the entrance jacket. You've got the knee braces as well. There's loads that comes with this. What I would say is, obviously, we've got True Effects now. So I think if we were to do this again now, it would be a lot stronger, a lot better. But doesn't mean that this is still not a great figure. Then we've got Shawn Michaels. I can't remember. This might be the last of the newer figures. Great entrance gear. I think the face scan, again, that True Effects technology. You can see like the facial hair, but it's the ring attire and the entrance attire that really does it for me here. I think that they've done a great job with all of that. I think it really pops, obviously based on Royal Rumble 1997, and it is a Ringside Collectibles exclusive. Then we've got another Shawn. I've kept these quite close together. This Shawn may be a little bit controversial that it finds itself outside the top 10. But to be honest, I think that, again, this is another example of if we were going to do this figure again now, I think we would do a better job. I think this is crying out for True FX. If this could have True FX, then this would go shooting up the list again because it's actually based on one of my all-time favorite matches, Undertaker versus Shawn, WrestleMania 25. I love the entrance gear here. I love everything about this figure, actually. The only thing that kind of lets it down is I just think the face would be a bit better if we were to go back and redo it. So, yeah, unfortunate that this finds itself outside of the top 10. Then we've got this John Cena, and honestly, so many accessories here. I mean, you've got like the shirt, you've got the vest, you've got the chain, you've got the dog tags, you've got the spinner US belt, you've got and I think actually this was the only way of getting that spinner US belt for a while. And you've got the spinner championship as well. I mean, this is just drowning in accessories and the cap as well. There's so much stuff here that, yeah, I always knew this was going to do well on this list. Then we've got this Undertaker, and honestly, I mean, I love the entrance attire. I think it looks awesome. I believe this is WrestleMania 15, so we're looking at like Ministry Undertaker, but the face on this looks really good. Again, I think this is before True Effects, but they did such a good job with it that honestly, even if we were to do it again now, I don't think it would be that drastically improved. Tattoo detail, I think, on this is really good as well. Like, this is a great Undertaker figure. Next, we got Razor Ramon, and there might be a few people that just question this being as high on this list as what it is, but I love the way they do the Scott Hall figures. I just think they've nailed the face. I love the hair, the chest hair detail as well. I love the ring gear. I think it really pops. Comes with a title belt, which I always appreciate. I think it's even got like the little toothpick in the mouth. There's loads, man. I just love this figure. I think this looks so good on a shelf, and for the longest time, this was one of my absolute favorite figures in my collection. And this would be another example, actually, because this is Hulk Hogan, an iconic superstar. And obviously, we didn't get a load of Hogans for a long, long time. I think maybe even still, this is the only way you can get the Hogan 86. I'm sure they might have re-released the Hogan 86 again somewhere. But it's not a belt we get very often. And for the longest time, this was the only way that you could get it. Definitely the only way you could get it. But I love the bandana, the way that it just kind of sort of hangs over his eye a little bit. The shirt that you can pose and having him like ripping it apart. It's Hogan. It's Hulkamania. Love it. Yeah, love this figure. Then we've got the Macho Man, and this one, WrestleMania 7. Again, maybe I've been a bit kind with this, I'm not sure. I think it's a hard one, actually, to rank because we've had loads of Macho Man figures. I think the face on this is okay. I think True Effects definitely would benefit this and help this. In many ways, this is very similar to the Shawn figure that we looked at, like amazing entrance gear, but one of those figures that, you know, would benefit from like true effects and would really be boosted by that. But I just think the jacket on this is amazing, and the tassels, and comes with the hat and the shades, and yeah, I just love it. This is from WrestleMania 7 and the retirement match. Then we've got this Stone Cold, which is pretty awesome, from Raw. Again, you know, we're really starting to get to the good stuff now. This is where you're getting like a jacket and a cloth shirt and a chain and a cap. And I love it when we just drown in accessories. And it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Got the Austin. I mean, is there anything more iconic than an Austin 316 shirt? So yeah, this is pretty special stuff. Then we've got Ricky the Dragon. I love this figure. Not really from a show or anything that special, but Ricky the Dragon, obviously one of the greatest wrestlers that has ever wrestled. This wasn't like a highlight of his career, in all fairness, but certainly one that I remember fondly. He would come out and blow fire just before he would start competing. Obviously, there was a great Hasbro of this, which I had as a kid. This, you put it on a shelf. I mean, it's so colorful. It just pops. Just looks so good, and the face scan on it as well is brilliant. Love the detail on the chest piece as well. That's something that often gets overlooked. But yeah, brilliant. They nailed it. Then we've got this Ric Flair, and again, you know, massive robe that comes with this. Just such a stunning, impressive entrance attire to this. I love the slightly older face as well. Obviously, this is based on his retirement match from WrestleMania 24. Love that older face. I just think it's an iconic look. With just breathtaking entrance attire. Once you take that away, there's not really much to the figure. But yeah, I mean, you're getting a lot here. I mean, I've got this on a shelf, and it still is one of the figures that draws my eye to it straight away. It's so imposing when it's on a shelf. Then we've got The Rock. So we've only got, what, 5 figures left to go. So we got The Rock. This is from Raw. This Is Your Life, 1999. It's got the shirt, the jacket, the microphone. This was an iconic moment. You're getting tons of accessories. It's The Rock. I think the face scan looks good as well. It's ticking a lot of boxes. Then we've got Sting, and honestly, again, this is one of those where I just think the face looks really good. The face paint, I always love face-painted figures, but it comes with that jacket, comes with the baseball bat. I think when you actually pose it and put it into a certain like position, it just looks so good. It looks so good. And it's Sting as well, and it's Crow Sting, WCW. There's a lot of love for this figure out there. Then we've got the Macho Man. I love this figure so much. So imposing. WrestleMania 3. Maybe my favorite entrance attire of any figure. That robe is stunning. It is stunning. I think it's one of the best things they have ever done, Mattel. And so this had to be high on this list. Then you want to talk about robes. I mean, this is just above the Macho Man one because this is iconic, and it came with a belt. So you get a little World Heavyweight Championship with this figure. But that robe, just, it is wrestling. That is wrestling. It's so iconic that I think it's been valued at something like $70,000 to $90,000 for that robe, the actual robe. So this was the first Ric Flair figure they did in the Defining Moments line. And you can understand why, because this is just such an iconic look. It's known as the butterfly robe. If you've got a wrestling figure collection and you kind of care about the historical side of things, I really feel like you need this figure. Like, this needs to be in your collection. And that brings us to number 1, and there's only one more figure to go. And of course, it's Triple H, the Madison Square Garden return for Triple H. I mean, look at this. You're getting a full denim kind of outfit here with a t-shirt underneath as well. I love the expression on this. I love the face scan. This is like years before True FX, but they nailed it. They did such a good job with this figure. This figure goes for tons of money. People absolutely love it. I love it as well. I think for me, it's undeniably the greatest defining moments, in my opinion. So there we go then, guys. That's all the defining moments outside of those Warrior ones. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already, because we'll have plenty more of these figure videos on the way for you. And as I said, I hope you are enjoying these videos, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.